Welcome back to Studio 701. Our next guest is performing at the Laughing Sun on Tuesday, March 28th.
Instead of performing live music, you can expect some live magic.
That's right. Nick MacArthur joins us now. Nick, welcome to Studio 701.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Okay, we're excited about this. We don't get magic on the show very often, so this is a real treat. And we understand the show is pretty popular, so can you just tell us, first of all, are there tickets left so people can still get them if they're okay?
There are still
Perfect.
a few tickets left, so yes, I wouldn't wait, but there are a few left if you're still looking to get one.
Awesome. Definitely make sure you order them now. And then we want to hear a lot about you, Nick. So what first got you into magic? Do you remember that one moment or anything? Or, you know, when did you, how old were you?
Yeah, so it was this really crazy, amazing story. Not at all. One of my friends from, daycare days learned a trick from his uncle. It was a cut and restored rope. I'm sure some folks have seen some variation of it. And he showed that to me and another one of my friends. And I just thought, man, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. And that moment, that feeling you get, you want to be able to replicate and then share that with other people. So I did what any kid would do, and I started looking for little magic books at the library, going on YouTube and looking up how to do a card trick. And that was when I was about 12 years old, and I've been doing it for, I guess, over half my life now. And it was one of those hobbies that just stuck with me, and I've continued to do it through the years. So
That's awesome. Nick, is there a certain style or medium of magic that you tend to do? Card tricks, sawing ladies in half, you know, those sort of things?
Yeah, so I haven't sawed any ladies in half, but
I volunteer as
yeah,
tribute.
so just insurance purposes, I try to stay away from some of that stuff just because I do brand myself as subpar magic guaranteed, which just means, you know, don't get your hopes up, don't get your expectations too high. But I tend to dabble a little bit in more of a magic mentalism realm, and mentalism can be summed up by a layperson, I guess, as a mind reader. I'm not a believer in any sort of mind reading. Everything I do is a trick, and there's a really simple, logical explanation for most of it. It's best if you don't know, because trust me, when you know, things are a lot more boring.
Is that kind of spoiling the magic, though? If you're telling us that it's a trick, isn't your job to make us believe that it's really magic?
Oh, absolutely. I think there's a couple ways to approach it. I just have never been fond of the people who will come out and perform and say, I was born with these really special abilities and nobody else has this and nobody else can learn this, which just isn't true. It's all stuff that you learn through time. Like, you know, as a musician, it's harnessed through practice and years of work and putting that effort into your craft. And so I think there's still magic in magic, even though it isn't real, because the magic comes from the mystery of not knowing how it works. So as long as you don't know how it works, it is still magical, and I think that's the beauty of it. So
It reminds me of Penn and Teller. You know, they kind of follow the same guideline during their magic show, which leads us to wonder, you know, do you have any big name magical influences or who, you know, you try to follow?
yeah, so I love Penn and Teller. I've seen their show, and it's still, I think, if you're in Las Vegas, it's hands down, in my opinion, the best magic show you can see there. But I love their style. I spoke to you guys before the show. I mentioned a guy called Piff the Magic Dragon. Another great show if you ever want to see it. That's Piff, not Puff. Okay, don't call him Puff the Magic Dragon. He is literally a guy who wears a dragon costume and is British and just has the most deadpan humor, does awesome magic, and he's a whole lot of fun to watch. And definitely would be one of my favorite performers for sure.
Right on. And Nick, where can we get tickets to see this show on the 28th?
Yeah, so right now you're going to want to go online. There is also a QR code if you're one of those hip people who likes to scan those. But the URL is subparmagic.eventbrite.com. And you can search that in your browser, on your phone. Go on there, grab some tickets. There are not many left, so you don't want to wait, and hopefully it'll be worth your time.
Now, hopefully you go see the show, but also you can be hired to do magic at different events, parties, things like that, which is very cool. So first of all, how can we get a hold of you for that? And then my follow-up question is, what's your favorite kind of audience to perform for?
Sure. So, yes, I am for hire. I think it's kind of weird to think about that because I live in Bismarck. It's not the magic mecca of the world by any means, but there are people who do unique things that you can hire. And so I'm one of those people. I've done private events, parties, all kinds of different things. I've done even a handful of kids' parties through the years because everybody starts that way. But if you're looking for something like that, you can get in touch with me. I have my business cards I hand out all the time, but nmacarthur97@gmail.com is a great way to send me an email if you're looking for a gig. I'm always open to hearing about it, so let me know. And what was the second part of that question there?
What's your favorite audience to perform in front of?
Oh, that is a good question.
I mean,
Okay,
you know,
yeah.
we're talking about that reaction you
Yeah.
get when you really know a good trick is coming or
Yep.
it's about to wow them. What's your favorite kind of reaction or audience?
Actually, this may come as a shock. People are always like, oh, the kids love magic. Kids are the worst. Kids are the worst. They're great if you can get them one-on-one and do a magic trick for them because then they're all shy and cute and they love it. If you get a crowd of kids together, they become ruthless and they pick you apart and they say, no, that's not right. Give me those cards. You're not doing what you're saying you're doing. I've seen this before. My brother does magic. I could go on and on about all the things kids have said to me. And it's this, a half-hour kids party is, I fear that more than any other kind of performance. I've been up on stage, I've performed at the Belmehus. That didn't bother me. I go in front of a group of 15, 6 or 7-year-olds and it's like, I'm shaking because these kids are going to rip me to pieces. So I prefer to perform for adults or people who, and I do a series of tricks that can sometimes be a little bit harder to grasp for younger kids, and the attention span is another thing too. So I'd like to perform for adults, and that is, the Laughing Sun show is geared towards that. So.
Okay, well, we are all looking forward to that. So thank you, Nick, and don't go anywhere because for more information on this upcoming show, go to subparmagic.eventbrite.com.
And of course, for some private bookings or future shows, you can also reach Nick at nmacarthur97@gmail.com.
But don't move because after a quick break, we're going to see a magic trick performed live here on the show. We'll see if it's subpar or not. I have a feeling it's not. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.